Okay, perfect. So we're on YouTube too. All right, perfect. Okay, so I haven't uploaded any templates for someone just asked a question. Okay, so for those familiar with the DTB system, if you've been watching a few of these videos, you know that we are on this specific series. We're focusing on the analytical strategy, which is one of the strategies in our suite. A lot more information can be found on the website as well as the YouTube channel for the rest of the videos and tools. All right, so the risk disclosures for the trading, the futures trade that we do. So there's also going to be a link to that in the video. Okay, perfect. So let's jump on to this. All right, so this is the VPS. I actually started a strategy a few minutes ago before 9 a.m. I didn't, I just started a strategy before. It hasn't taken any positions yet, but I'll go through the optimization that I ran, and I'll even just copy it into the chat so you guys can have a look at what I did. So what I did over here is I optimized the strategy as normally between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And I used a target ticks. So I put a 40 target ticks in play. And I selected let me just stop my video. There we go. So I used selected, so you can put a target ticks in there. So you can put a target tick value like we did. So 40 and 40, so minimum, maximum. So it's only doing that value in the optimizer. And I used this, I ticked this, the section over here says where use target ticks for the fixed target profit. So I've made that as true. And I left the rest as false. And then what I've done is I've just left all these values the same. And for setting A and setting B, I just did 1 to 10. So setting A 1 to 10, setting B 1 to 10. I did initially have it as 1 to 20 and setting B as 1 to 40, but I did not have enough time to actually run that. It would have taken a few hours to run. And the reason why it would have taken a few hours to run is because I'm optimizing all the repaints. So you can see I'm optimizing 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm also optimizing the bar size. So I'm working between a 10 bar size, but up to 100. So it's going to optimize 10, 10, 20, 10, 30, 10, 40, 10, all the way up to 100 in increments of 10. So that is what this is going to do. And I'm optimizing the data from the 12th of September. So today, because today is the 18th of October, what I'm doing is I'm taking a whole month's worth of data and a week. There's basically 5 weeks of data that I'm analyzing. Now, we've discussed this before. There's no specific exact period of data that we should analyze. And, you know, very often it could just be the last few days, which would be suitable. So it's all depending, you know, it's good to optimize all different values and then see if the settings are coming up consistently across different data sets that you're analyzing, then that's even a better hint that those numbers are going to be consistently delivering results. So I'm using instrument settings and everything else is exactly the same. So I'm just going to save this template, save, and I've got it as 18th of October, 10 to 100 underscore 10 with a 40 target. Now again, I just selected 40 target. You could have any target that you want. You could do a 30, a 40, a 50, 60, whatever target you want to do, you can do that. You can even optimize the target. So that's another thing but will add a lot more iterations to your actual numbers. So while I've done that specific optimization, let me just copy that into the chat so that you know, that is available for you guys to save. So let me just quickly jump onto that. Okay. So just going to bring it up. So again, they're always kept in the documents, NinjaTrader 8, templates, and strategy, analytical bar strategy 1. So that is the one there, and then I'm going to copy and paste that into the chat. Okay, great. So that is over there. Okay, so that's in there. So that's that optimization. Now, what I also did, which I haven't got this specific strategy running, but I'm also just looking at a few different instruments. So here is the ES as an example. So I did the ES. Now it hasn't given, it's given these results. So $3,000 with a 300 drawdown, 38 trades, 97% profitable. So a similar thing over here, what I've done is the same period, so 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I've used the target ticks of 8, and that is because it's just 2 bar sizes. So 4, because the bar size is 4. So I'm basically just chasing a double bar size. So 8 ticks. The same period of time that I'm analyzing and going through that. So if I look at this and I go to the analysis, you'll see from here that it's only really 1 or 2 trades per day. So if you look at this, so there's a 13, 14, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22. So all those dates are there, and I think there'll be a few gaps in between. Obviously Saturdays and Sundays, but you're going to have a few days where you might not have an entry. But the idea with this is just to have, 1 or 2 entries happening during the session. So I might even actually open up a separate chart and run this strategy as well on the ES chart and see if it enters any positions over the session. Okay. Again, I'll save this one. So if I go to template and I go save, I'm going to call this one, so 18 October, and I'm going to call this ES. And this is only a 4_4 with a 8 target. So, and I'm going to save this one also. So template, save, and what did I call it? Here it is. I'm going to call trading chart. Perfect. So now that is there, I'm going to go actually open up a chart. Okay, so we're in our first position on our NQ strategy. So that has entered a position. I'm going to just minimize this or make this a bit smaller. Get that out of the way. Do that. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to open up an ES chart. So I'm going to go into my settings over here, go into charts, and open up the ES. And I'm being very careful to use the same values as I selected on the chart. So I've got a 4 and a 4. And I'm using the custom range date, which is we're using the 12th. I'm also going to just save this as a value, because whenever I'm selecting, if you preset that, what that'll do, it'll basically save those dates in there, the custom range, also the bar size, but more importantly, the dates, because if you're going to keep using the same dates, then at least that'll save that. Okay, so I've done that for 4, and that's going to bring up a chart over here, which I'll switch over. Okay, give that a moment to load. Now this the strategy might not enter any positions. It might enter 1 or 2 positions. I'm not too sure what it's going to enter during the session, but it may enter 1 or 2, who knows. Okay, and then if I go into just the daily status again, just to check what's going on there, make sure the break at end of day is on. And then I'm going to go into the strategy, pop on that specific strategy, and go load it. Okay. So that's going to put the target ticks in there and select all of that. I'll go and select the account that I'm using, apply. Okay, and then once I do that, I'm going to just check the accuracy to make sure that's matching my chart. I can also just go to the strategy performance like this and check if that is over there. So that is looking okay in that regard. All right, perfect. So then I'm going to go and start that one. Okay, so that's the ES. So we've done those two. So I thought of doing the ES, just mixing it up a little bit this week to see how how we go. I might not do it the whole week. This is mainly to help you guys just work with different instruments, because we've been working with obviously the NQ primarily, but you can go and use the ES, the MES, whatever your idea is. And I shared in our Facebook group earlier and on our chat some very good options for target ticks and things. So does anybody want to share what they're working with today and how's it going so far?
I just turned mine on, Jason. I'm doing a 24/8. But no, it hasn't taken a position just yet.
Okay, so you do 24/8. All right. Yeah. And that's on the NQ. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so YM. Okay, so I did a YM thing too earlier. Let's see what else I've got here. YM. I played around a bit with some, stop ticks and target ticks, but some of them weren't good. I mean, look at this one here. This is, 600 profit with 400 drawdown. So it is a little bit of a trial and error type of a situation of, going through a few different things. Let me just share that. Okay, I'll share that ES template. So give me a second. Let me just find that. All right. So copy and paste. Okay, so the ES template is in the Skype chat as well. Okay, so looking back at the YM, I mean, the YM is also a good one to work with. So you've got a few different options there. Like this one here, I'll just remove this optimization because that was not effective at all with the 12. I use a 12 target there. So that wasn't pretty good. I also used the repaint all as true though. So that could be an issue. That could be something that impacted that. So if I go, for example, true, true, false, and false, it might actually come up with better results. And I use a 6 and a 6. So if I do that, let's try this one over here instead. So 6 and a 6 on the YM. Again, we're always just sticking with the same time frame, so only between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And remember, most of the trades are going to open after 9:30 anyway. So hopefully this will take nice and quick. Let's go see what's happening with our chart so far. Okay, we only have one trade open so far. So we only have this one position in play at the moment, which is on the NQ. There's nothing too exciting there. Our ES chart has not entered a position yet. So I'll just put this over here. And then we'll monitor the optimizer for these values. Okay, so what have I selected? I've selected the 12 target ticks. I'll just run this before I save or share the template. I'll just see if this is any decent to share. Okay, so not too bad. I mean, we haven't got very high values, but we still have $1,700 with 187 drawdown, 78 trades with 75% profitable. So if we look at the analysis of that, and those are all the days, you're still only getting between 2 and 5 or 6 trades. Last few days, we've had some losing positions. If we look at the day of the week, I mean, not fantastic. You know, you're looking at Monday, 15. Okay, so this one looks a lot better with regards for Mondays, but it does have a higher drawdown. So it's got almost an 800 drawdown, which could have been from other days of the week. Monday has shown, you know, really good values. So I'm not really seeing anything here that's really standing out. And there's no harm in actually putting this one on. Okay, so let me just save this one. So template, save, and this one here is, let me just see what have we done. 12 target, and it's a 6-6 bar. Okay, so 18th, and this is the YM. Now, if I did not use stops and target, or if I did not use a target over here, it'll be a much higher value, because we're basically limiting our range of the, you know, the price running because we're having a target. Okay, so template, save, and I'll call this one again the trading chart. And then I'll pop that in the settings too. So I'll copy and paste that in our chat. Okay, perfect. So that's that one. Now what I'll do is I'll just go and duplicate this window for the ES. So that's an easy way to do it, by duplicating it and then just going into the settings, changing it to a YM like that. And then also going into the data series and changing that into a 6 and a 6, because that's the one that we are using for the YM. And I'll go and apply that strategy. So let's go and do that. So strategies, analytical bars 1, and then load that specific template. So, I mean, you know, I am doing a lot more than what I normally would do on this session, but let's just see how it goes. Okay, so then I'm going to go and select this account again. Apply, okay. So looking at my values, 180, 78 trades. If I go over here, real time and historical, yeah, it's showing the right values. So that is fine. So I'm going to just go and enable that. Okay, so we've got the three, I've got three strategies running today. have you guys got any strategies running with any positions yet, or is it still, is it still waiting for the open?
Jason, I've got a 1414, just a normal bar size. It's been running since 9, not taking a position yet, but the numbers seem very good for Mondays.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, same as well. And then I've got an 814 on the scalping with the 40 tick.
Okay, cool.
Target, which I'll wait and see. There's no position yet, but it's coming back with some very good numbers. So let's see.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. So I'm going to I'll just increase the text on the screen. I know it's obviously we're looking at, we're looking at small screens and stuff over here with 3 charts. Hopefully it's not, I'm also not recording this session. Silly me, I should have just done the recording, but that's okay. I'm not going to record every session. So I've got properties and 14. Actually, I might just pop it on record now. Okay. I don't have the Fibonacci levels on here. I might just pop them on quickly on the other tools. So with the Fibonacci levels on there, I'll pop that one on that chart, and I'll do the same for the YM. So first looking at the NQ, nothing exciting happening there yet. The price is just hovering around the 5-minute 76.4. If I look above and below price, we've got the weekly, which the price came in earlier and touched, but above the price now we've got a huge gap, bit of a gap down too, so it could actually go either way at this stage. The ES, so the ES came to the daily and the weekly figures. I'm not having anything happen on this chart. I hope it's not freaking stuck on me. No, it's not. Okay, good. So that is that one. And then the YM. So YM, those are the current levels. Okay, let me just activate my crosshair. It's always good to activate the crosshair because then you can see if the chart is actually moving, or if the price is, if your cursor is moving on the chart and it's responding to the chart. Just so you know, there's no issue with anything. Okay, so coming up to the open, the next 5 minutes.
Just a question, Jason. Just with the NQ, with it bouncing around the fib level, is it not worth just holding off and pausing the strategy until it chooses and then starting it?
Yeah, it is. It is a good idea to do that. It is only a 5-minute level though, so I'm not too. The 5-minute levels are generally a little bit weaker than the other levels. So yeah, I'll just let this one go. If you were around like the 4-hour fib levels, then definitely do that, because then those are very, very strong levels to work off. So the good thing too about doing your optimizations, as we discussed before, is you can see on the different charts that you've done optimizations for what the last signal was. And as you can see from both of these bottom charts, all these bars are red since that last signal. So that means any opportunity down here to sell this price coming down would have been good, because they generally, you know, the last signal is generally going to be a higher probability because it's an optimized value. So always look around, you know, look around the fib levels, if any of them come into play. Now, obviously, because it's Monday, it's a little bit, you know, we haven't got any consistency from the week yet to show us what's happening with price and what it's doing, but it's not, you know, I think later on in the week, you'll start seeing a lot more of the fib levels come into play. We have had a nice bounce off the daily 38.2 on the ES. So it seems to have, you know, broken below and then come up, retested, and it's gone up again. So obviously only a small movement for right now, but it's not too bad. So I imagine that the MES will give a similar type of a result, you know, with a very high percentage accuracy. But if you do that, I mean, it's unusual to get percentages in the high 90 percentages. So yeah. So Mauricio, you've got your ES on some same settings as mine, or have you done your own optimizations? Okay, well, let me know how it goes, how your optimization went. I mean, not your optimization, your if any positions enter. Okay, so coming up to the open in like literally a few seconds. Come within a few ticks of hitting that first target. Okay, so that was the NQ hitting its first target. So that was its first position. So look how the price came to the 61.8. Now it's back at this under the 76. But obviously this is the opening 5 minutes, which is, you know, a bunch of John Waynes going crazy in, you know, in the exchange. And all the machines turned on, all the algos turned on. So I'm not seeing anything happen on the ES or the YM. All these bars are red, which means that the last signal was back here long before the session started. So it just can happen sometimes. If we get a lot of action around these fib levels, we'll probably see some of these levels change and then, put us in some trades. The top one is giving us a lot of different colors, but remember, we're only working, if I look at the strategy on the top chart, it's only going to be acting on one of the repaints, which is the second one. So it's only going to act on the second signal given in a direction. So if it gives a confirming signal in a direction, it's not going to take that one. It's going to take the second one in the same direction. So we might see a little bit of up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'm not sure how many specific positions we'll actually get from the strategy today. All that we've known is that historically, if we look at historical results, we have had a total of 145 trades with a 76% profitable. If I just look at this, and we've had a bit of the drawdown is a little bit high. I mean, I'm not mad about that. But if I look at the analysis for this specific strategy, it's entered between 2 and 8 trades per day or per session that it has been running, or that it would have, that these settings are displaying. And it's only really the one day. It's only the one day where it actually dropped in value. So every other day it was actually profitable, even if it was a little bit. It's only that one specific day where it dropped, and that was the 30th of September, which if I look at the chart, it's the last day of the month, a Thursday. So yeah, who knows what happened on that specific day for it to be just out of whack on that day. But apart from that, it's actually showed some really good consistency across every session. Not huge amounts of money, but just some good consistency on that. We have, and remember, we're using a profit target. So that's why these values are very low. So when you're not using a profit target, as you noticed on previous sessions, you could have trades running up $1,000 on each position. And that's because they have open targets. So that's continuous trading without stops and targets, which is always the better way to go for longer term results. So on the ES, the price has just come and touched that 38.2. So that is the daily 38.2, but it's the second Fibonacci levels that it's drawn. So if you look at your Fibonacci level indicator, you're going to notice the level on there that is drawing a second set of values from the daily. Over here, where are we? Daily, it's drawing the second set of values. So now the price has actually broken below that. Small movements at this stage. So you can also go and apply, if you're not having positions on your trading chart, you can actually go into your indicators on here, and you can go pop on your shadow trading indicator. So that one is really beautiful for taking some scalping positions. Because that's going to give you, I didn't want to use the paint bars because I got the strategy running. So I might just go back into that and modify that. Just give me 1 second. So the indicator, and I'm just going to remove the paint bars from the shadow trading because we want the strategy to give us the coloring for the bars. And also, if you have too many tools painting the bars, it can actually crash NinjaTrader. It can clash with with the system, because it's trying to paint the bar red, and it's trying to paint it green, or it's trying to paint it gold. So it's best if you have your supporting indicators not actually painting the bars. So there's a button over here to untick that box. And once you do that, it will only show you the arrows and the momentum line that the shadow trading indicator acts on. Again, probably a good idea to do this before you activate your strategies or put your strategies on your chart. So, I mean, these little arrows, you can act on them. I just wouldn't be taking any positions into a strong Fibonacci level. So if these were below a level or far from a level, I would be more happy about taking those positions, because you're not trading into a huge area of support. Now remember, these Fibonacci levels are always huge support levels, support and resistance levels. So it'll be more unlikely, not that it won't happen, that the price is going to run from here, although it did do that earlier. So it's just that the odds are slightly lower that the price is going to shoot up because of these levels. There are also telltales of the strength of the momentum based on what's happening with the momentum line over here. So keep an eye out on that. If that's really facing down, then you know that this price is probably going to shoot down. So nothing, unfortunately, nothing exciting happening on my charts. I went for a more of a conservative approach by the look of it. It's almost 10 minutes into after 9:30. How are things going on your side? Who wants to jump in?
Jason, I paused mine twice using a signal chart just when I see the divergence arrows, and I'm about $500 up.
Okay, nice.
I'm 180 up so far, so we're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Jason, about the same as Stu.
It's me. Oh, it's Stu. Sorry,
Stu,
Stu.
yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna just step away for a second. Okay, so looking at this ES chart as a matter of interest. So we've got these arrows over here. So these arrows paint on the close of the bar. So they happen back over here. We got the momentum line really starting to get direction facing, pulling the price. So it seems like this might actually break, which is good. So in that case, they all actually work. So if you look at these, if you look at all these arrows that happen, so there was one back over here. There's actually one on top here too. There was actually a couple on top here also. And that was from the last. So when you're seeing a shadow trading signal and a optimized brick wall setting, that's also a good value to look at for an entry. So you got that. So this is a beautiful pull up from there. Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. So a run up from there. And we've actually got a YM trade in play. So our first YM trade. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so that's just a small hit its target. Oh, we actually had two trades. So it had a losing trade and then a winning trade. So that's a bit of a break-even situation. Actually, probably a small loss. So even though I don't have you notice that I didn't have a stop loss on this, on these trades, on these strategies, because when the signal changes, it's going to automatically close that position and then enter that trade. So now, as you can see, we, by using a target, we're missing out on this huge run of price over here, because we are only targeting a small value of 12 ticks. So that is the downside when it comes to what we're doing over here. But like I said, it's good to mix it up a little bit. I've had open targets basically every session that we've traded. So this is the first one where I'm actually using target ticks. So on your strategy buttons on your chart, you'll always see what has been activated. So whenever you're using a target ticks, it's going to actually give you the value in one of the buttons there, and you'll notice that the button for trailing stop is not there. So another option is instead of having a target ticks as a fixed target, you can have a trailing stop and a target, and also have a target as a 40. Then you can move it around and whatever too. So there's a few options you can play around with. See here on the ES, so I've got the momentum line way above price, and it's still kind of shooting up. So I'll see what happens around this section over here. Coming to the 50%. So always pay attention to where the momentum line is. So you look at this momentum line where it is now, and then if we scroll back on the chart, notice where the momentum line was on the last signal. You see where the momentum line is, it actually dropped below the price. So be a bit mindful when you're looking for signals. You want to make sure that that momentum line is either right with the price for that signal to go up, or it's actually pulled just below that price, because often it'll just keep pulling that price up. So I'm going to pop in a sell over there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put my stop just above the brick wall. A bit of a slight risky one, because the momentum line is still above the price. But what I'll do over here is just keep monitoring it. So there's the 50% of the 5 minute. And what I'll do is I'll just say, you see the stop here, I'll move it above that bar, which is, if you look to the left, yes, it's only starting to drop below the price now. So I'll probably cut this one a little bit fine. So ideally, you want to see an arrow and that momentum line below the price, or at least with the price coming down at the same time. So they're often a lot stronger signals to work with.
Jason, just a quick one. Would you only exit the position if the momentum line is touching price pointing down, or when would you sort of gauge it using your tools?
To basically pull out of the position if it's going short.
Well, yeah, I was in a very good long, and ultimately, unfortunately, I've left a bit of money on the table. Still very happy with the evening, but just left money on the table. And I had a divergence arrow with the momentum line getting closer to price, but it only now, about 4 minutes ago on my signal chart, did it actually touch price. At that moment, it was still above price, but it's edging closer and closer. And obviously you're trying to, I'm not trying to be greedy, just trying to fine tune.
Yeah, exactly. So you really want that momentum line to switch over price and then get divergences on above that, or arrows above that. So like, I'm probably going to get another arrow over here. We have just had the price go over the 50, bit of a gap to this level here at the moment. So I'm not going to jump in right here. And we're also above this last brick wall. So a bit of a crappy one on that specific chart. Oh, but this one actually came up as a nice signal. I wasn't watching this one. So this came and touched the 61.8. So it came all the way up, touched the 61.8, which is a big level for the daily, and then dropped from there. Again, also over here, it's another thing you can go and add on your shadow trading indicator. Again, probably should do this before the session starts. So do that, and I'm going to just pop it on my NQ. Actually, I'll leave the NQ chart as it is. Don't add too much on here. Yeah, so this is only had the one signal so far today. So you can see like a lot of like up and down, a little up and down, so that they haven't been like a double confirmed signal in the same direction. So that's why we haven't had a second entry on this one. So our YM, if I just go to our YM is definitely looking promising for a sell. So if you look at the YM, you see that momentum line, it's facing nicely down. We have that 61.8 in play over there. Come on. Do I have, let me just check properties. Auto scale. This auto scale plays havoc on me sometimes. So when you start seeing more gold bars, you know, the sellers are in control. We want to see more bars close in gold. And then this momentum line suck the price down. So that often happens. Ooh, I want to move my target. Shit, I couldn't move it in time. I really wanted to pull that target down because you know, we can see right now, we've had all these divergences on top. You've got this momentum line completely, you know, facing right down. This is literally gonna, it's like a magnet for the price. So this is going to suck, that's going to suck this price down quite, you know, quite significantly. So we are getting to, you know, slightly overbought situation now. So the price could bounce a little bit over there, which is what happens on those arrows. But again, could just be coming to retest this 5 minute 61.8. Momentum line is still right down. So when you're seeing the momentum line right down, it's a promising sign. So a bit of a tug of war right here between the buyers and the sellers. Starting to get a bit more green bars.
How's your strats doing, Jace?
I've literally only had those two positions that have opened, one on the NQ and one on the YM. So I haven't had multiple positions actually open. Oh, actually, I just had an NQ position open. There we go. I just had an NQ position run. So that was a target on there. So if I go to this one here, strategy performance, and I go real time, this one has made $400. Oh, I haven't got the commission loaded on yet. That's not good. So only 2 trades on that one. So it's $10 commission. So yeah, $3.90 at the moment on that. There's the next entry also. So I'll monitor that while I look at a few other options here too. So nice trades over here. We had a tug of war at the 61.8 right now. That's fine. Let's have a look at this NQ. If that goes and exits. So we kind of are in no man's land at the moment with this. There's no strong levels above and no strong levels below. So probably just going to be floating around this area. It has come back up to the 5 minute 23.6, not really providing much of a resistance there or anything. Let's see. If I look at my 5 minute chart, that is showing a bit of, it's showing some divergence, but this momentum line is right up and this price is deep in bias territory. So Not looking exceptionally good for this one, unless it comes and bounces off this daily 23.6, which very often is the case. Let's hope it happens before they cut off at 10 though. So they've definitely given us a bit of a shit fight over here. They've flung the price down, flung it back up again. When the bars start going red, it means heavily overbought. So just like it did on the left over here, it had this red cluster over here. And also the cyan bars. If it's cyan, that generally show as oversold. So we could be coming up to a huge news announcement or something. That's probably why they're pushing this price up. I don't know. I haven't actually monitored what's happening, what news is coming up. It seems like it's in preparation for something. But look, it came right to the 23.6 of the daily, literally within a few ticks. So we'll see if it actually breaks through there. We've got a 1 minute and 51 left of this candle. Yeah, I've got this to shut or to close at 10 a.m. So unfortunately, we're going to probably end off with a losing position on this trade. It's only got 45 seconds or so. This is showing on the 10-10 chart. So you can see our price just came very close to that 23.6. $15, $14, $13. So basically, I think when this next candle closes, it'll probably exit that position. 2, 1, 0. There we go. Bam. Okay, so that's taken it outside of trading hours. So now the strategy has exited over there. So probably not the best. That wasn't a brilliant session for that. I actually only ended up with 125 on that one. So percentage-wise, 76 was the overall history. And this was 67. So probably not ideal for that one. And then these other ones didn't really do too much. So I tried that. I tried the option today of just having the target in place. And that's why it produced those specific settings that we used. So I think what I'll do is I'll go back to the open targets. Who knows? I might do a mixture of them. How did you guys go with your strategies today?
I paused it 42 points too early.
All right. And would it still be in that same signal?
it would still be in that same signal. But that's why Paul asked the same question I was asking, because I was basically pausing every time I got the down arrow, but obviously it's still momentum in it. Now I understand that when the momentum bar crosses price with divergence, then, but it's fine. It's all a learning process. Still happy. 463 green.
Okay, nice.
Jason,
Yeah, I mean,
what Stu's probably trying to say is that your stuff works so well. We don't want to take all the money from the market.
okay. Yeah, at least you got something, eh? Got something.
We want to leave some behind.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
About the same. Left 42 points on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. But
All right,
very
cool.
good. Very, very green. So can't complain.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Magic and Eduardo, are you still around there, or have you been on a call or something? Mauricio, okay, perfect. So you also got $50 on your MNQ. Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, guys, we will see you tomorrow at the same time, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. Nice little red arrow there. Okay, thanks, guys, and I'll chat to you then.
Jason, thanks, mate.
Okay, cheers.